Welcome. Today we're going to be taking a look at Back to the Future Dice Through Time. This is a 2 to 4 player dice rolling cooperative game where you take the role of Marty and Doc from one of the 4 timelines. You'll be moving to different locations and to different timelines. You will be knocking Biff around, completing events, and gaining items. You'll be trying to cooperate with the other Marty and Docs to deliver the items to the correct year and location before the space-time continuum is destroyed and you're stuck forever. Now that we know what the winning condition is, let's take a look at the components, setup, and how gameplay works in Back to the Future Dice Through Time. Now let's take a look at the components. You have the main game board. On the main game board, you have 4 color rows that represent your 4 timelines: 1885, 1955, 1985, and 2015. In the top left corner, you have a spot for your event cards. These will be drawn and placed out in their correct time and location. Below that, you have spaces for item cards based on their year. At the top of the main board, you have the time track. And then on the top right is where you will place your earned Einstein tokens. Then you have your out-of-time marker, Biffs. These will be used to place on the 4 timelines, event cards, item cards, and then the player components in each year or color. You have a player mat, DeLorean, and dice, paradox tokens, Einstein tokens, first player marker, and finally your rulebook. Now let's take a look at the setup. We're going to be setting this up for a 3-player game, which takes 6 steps. Step 1, place the main board in the center of the play area. Then place the 4 Biffs on their starting location for each year. Step 2, shuffle and place event cards. You will shuffle the event cards and place them on their indicated space in the upper left corner of the main board. Step 3, place tokens. You will shuffle and place the Einstein tokens next to the main board with the Einstein side up. And then next to the Einstein tokens, you will place your paradox tokens. Step 4, separate, shuffle, and place item cards. Separate the item cards by year, and then shuffle each stack and choose a number from each stack based on the difficulty, 2 through 5. 2 is Science Experiment or Beginner. 3 is the Standard or This is Heavy. 4 is the Hard or Great Scott. And 5 is Insane or Nobody Calls Me Chicken. Step 5, place the out-of-time marker. Place the out-of-time marker at 00 at the top of the main board. Step 6, choose a first player and get player components. The oldest player is the first player and gets the first player marker. And then the players will choose a color and get the player mat, DeLorean, and dice. You'll place the player mat in the middle of your player area and the dice next to your player mat, and then you'll place your DeLorean at the clock tower in your year. Now let's take a look at the gameplay. A game consists of a number of rounds until the players run out of time, or they return all of the items to their proper year and location. A round. A round consists of 6 phases: draw and place events, roll dice, perform actions, advance out-of-time marker, add paradox tokens, and pass the first player marker. Now let's look at each phase in detail. Phase 1. Draw and place events. You will draw a number of event cards based on the number of players. In a 2-player game, you'll draw 3. In a 3-player game, you'll draw 5. And in a 4-player game, you will draw 8 event cards. If it is a location event, you'll place it in its specific location and check for a chicken icon. If it has a chicken icon, then you'll move the Biff standee to that location. Keep in mind that more than one event can go in the same location. But if that happens, you must clear all events at one time before that location is cleared. A special event, you would resolve the event immediately. Phase 2. Roll dice. Players will simultaneously roll their dice. If a dice was rippled in time, it can be picked up and rolled at this time. Phase 3. Perform actions. In turn order, players will carry out their turn using all of their dice. The actions you can take are based on the die faces that you rolled. The flux icon allows you to move to the same location in any other year. The lightning icon allows you to re-roll any unspent dice of your choice. The wrench icon allows you to spin that die to use as any one icon on an event. The arrow icon allows you to spin to move to any location in your current year. The fist icon, you can spin to move Biff from your current location to another location in the same year. The Doc Brown icon, you can spin to remove any 2 paradox tokens from the board. Any die result could be used to move to an adjacent location in the same year. The Mr. Fusion action allows you to spend any 2 matching die results as any 1 die result. To complete an event, you must be on that location with the die results, and Biff cannot be in that location. If there are multiple events in a location, you must clear all the events before a location is cleared. When you clear a location, you will get an item card from that year. Keep in mind that you can only have, at most, 2 item cards at a time. Item cards must be returned to the correct year and location. When you return an item card, the location that you are returning the item card to has to be cleared of events, and Biff cannot be located on that space. You would then discard the item, move the out of time marker 1 to the left, and gain an Einstein token. You would pick a random Einstein token, flip it over, and place it in the Einstein token location on the top right of the main board. This will allow any player to use that token in any future turn. You may save a die in time by placing it on your location and rippling it through time. When a die is rippled through time, any player can use that die face in that location going forward in time. If, when moving, you meet your future or past selves, or any player in their DeLorean, you will weaken the space-time continuum and advance the out-of-time marker 2 spaces. Once all the players have taken their actions and spent their dice, we move to Phase 4. Advance the out-of-time marker. You'll check the years for the most incomplete events. The year that has the most incomplete events will be used to move the out-of-time marker. You would move the out-of-time marker the number of outstanding event cards plus any paradox tokens in that year. So in this case, we will move it 1. Phase 5. Add paradox tokens. For the year with the most outstanding event cards, you'll place a paradox token on each location with an event card. You can have a max of 1 at each location. And then we move to Phase 6. Pass the first player marker. You'll pass the first player marker to the person on your left, and then we would start a new round. And then rounds would continue until the players either run out of time and lose the game, or return all of the items to their location and time, and win Back to the Future Dice Through Time.